Good looking now, G.
Everybody ever tell you that he made you beautiful, beautiful. Everybody ever tell you that God made you beautiful, beautiful.
Hey there, excuse me, miss. No disrespect, you're very precious. Please tell me what's your name. You're a precious gem and God's to blame. No, I'm not trying to spit the game, cause it's your soul I'm trying to claim. You probably never heard of this. I love affair without a kiss all the time.
Welcome to The Hype, a show that focuses on issues that affect young women. This show is an extension of the Philadelphia Sea Project, which is a healthy lifestyles workshop for Black girls ages 14 to 18. Our workshops focus on healthy relationships, personal communication, gender and ethnic pride, and HIV/STD prevention education. We'll have more info about our workshops at the end of our program. I am your host, Jessica, and today's topic is babies having babies. Why are teenagers so eager to have children? Teen pregnancy has been one of the most depressing social issues. After a decade of declining teen pregnancies, the rate of teen pregnancy increased by 3% in 2006 as 750,000 women younger than 20 became pregnant. As pregnancies increased, so did births. In 2006, there were 42 births per 1,000 U.S. teenage girls, which was a 4% increase than 2005. Among Black teenagers, the pregnancy rate was 126 per 1,000 women, but the rate was 44 pregnant teens per 1,000 teenagers for non-Hispanic white teenagers. As the statistics are on the rise, one questions why are teenagers becoming pregnant at an increasing rate? Before we hear from the students at World Communications Charter School, we're going to hear what the streets have to say.
I think so many teens are having kids because they trust the wrong boys and boys cannot be trusted, and also because they don't believe in abortion, so when they get pregnant they have no other choice to keep the baby.
So many teens have decided to have kids because they don't actually decide to have kids, but it doesn't happen because they intend on it to happen, but because they haven't been smart enough to use protections.
Kids is having kids because, like, schools ain't teaching nothing for real, so
they do use protection sometimes, but sometimes they would think differently, think it'll be alright if they do this, maybe if they pull out fast enough or something, because they want to try it, because they want to have new experience in different ways, and they mess up and they have children.
I think that there's probably a lack of community accountability. A lot of people and young adults are looking for things to occupy them, adult attention, mentors, peers that are doing positive things, and there's a lack of resources for them to maintain a positive outlook on life and then keep themselves busy with activities.
So these kids don't really got no parents. Like, some people don't even got no fathers or mothers. So they have these parents on drugs and stuff. So like, they want attention. So they grab boyfriends or dudes, and dudes be out here, and dudes really don't care. So they be trying to slang their name to everything. So
I think a lot of them end up engaging in whatever attention they can get, and the result is, and because of lack of education regarding planned parenting and family planning, they end up in situations maybe they weren't expecting or hoping for.
But they need to be safe for real, because they gonna start catching stuff. Like, it ain't safe out here. I think kids should just chill, just go to school, get their education, and do what they gotta do.
I am here with my co-host Latoya. So Latoya, why do you think there is such an increase in teenage pregnancies right now?
Most of the teen pregnancies are unintentional.
maybe they don't use birth control consistently, and they use it inconsistently. Some of them don't know how to prevent a teen pregnancy. Maybe they don't know about the different contraceptives that's out there, like condoms, birth controls, different types of condoms. We have a female condom, we have the male condom, we have all different types of pills. And I think that's basically why. Some of them might just want to have a baby, who knows, but most of the teen pregnancies are
unplanned, right?
Yes,
yeah.
unplanned. There we go.
So I completely agree, and I think one of the main things is that the fact that there is a lack of education, because when teenagers are at that stage, their hormones are raging, and it's really natural for their body to want to have sex, but they don't know what they're supposed to do to protect themselves. So it becomes a whole situation, like you said, of unplanned pregnancy. But at the same time, I also think that the media has something to do with it too.
Do.
Especially after the whole, what is it called? Teen Moms?
Teen Mom.
Yeah.
They think that they can go on a television show just because they have this baby and make plenty of money, and then that's not the case.
Right, and you know, one of the things about the show is that it kind of in a way glorifies it, because because there's two parts. There's 16 and pregnant, and then there's why is there a sequel to this? Like, first of all, so after they become, you know, they have their child, then they later on in Teen Mom they show all them having houses and new cars.
And that's not true. It's unrealistic.
It's totally unrealistic.
Yes.
I mean, at the same time, you do see them struggling, but it really, at a point, it glorifies it. And I also think that the environment and the culture that we live in too, when you see, it's like a cycle.
Yes.
If a mother had her child young, then it's more likely
for that child to have a teen pregnancy.
Right, right. So it's just I feel like it's just a lack of education. It's the media, it's the culture, and all of that. Yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, we basically wrapped everything up. I think they're the main reasons why teen pregnancies are at a rise.
We're here with today's teens at World Communications Charter School to hear what they have to say.
Hi, everyone. Hi. You guys are real eager. Okay, so why do you think so many teenagers are getting pregnant right now?
Protective sex.
They think they're older than what they are, and that they can handle the situation.
I think teenagers are getting pregnant because they think it's a trend.
I think it's from the music.
Some of them just might not care. They don't have anything to lose. They figure it's the best way to cope with other stuff that may be going on.
Some girls, they just want, you know, somebody to love because they feel like they're probably not loved, so they want to have a child so that they can have somebody that's going to love them for the rest of their life, but they don't know the full consequences that it's going to have.
I think it could be because of peer pressure and not having good role models.
They may not get the attention that they want.
I don't think they mean to get pregnant. I think they just want the sex and the feeling, but it's just the consequence that comes with it.
And I think teenagers are getting pregnant because they don't really know how to control their sex life.
It's addictive.
They might be attached to their boyfriends.
A lot of times, females think that like getting pregnant by a man will keep the man in their life, which is not really the case. That's why a lot of times they get pregnant.
Okay, so do you feel like young people are using birth control or incorrectly, or just aren't using it at all?
I think some of them aren't using them at all. Like, they do it because they want a financial gain.
I don't think they're using it. I think a lot of teenagers don't actually want people to know that they're having sex. So they don't want to go to see anybody, get checked out or anything. So they don't do anything that has anything to do with getting pregnant, having sex, anything that has anything to do with sex. They don't want anybody to know that they're doing it, so they don't take any of the steps to safety.
So does that have anything to do with the way that teenagers are brought up or their environment?
I don't think it does.
I think it's like the environment there.
Some parents try really hard to raise their kids to do right, but it's whoever your kids are around, the older they get, the more they get their own mind. They learn on their own, they think for themselves. So regardless of how good of a parent you are, your kids want to make their own decisions regardless.
Like, when your child is out of your company, they do, basically, like you said, they do their own thing. But at the same time, if you have a young parent, you're more likely to have a child at a young age, because you're like, okay, I want the same relationship I had with my mom, so, you know, I'm going to do the math and have my child at this age because that's what my mom had me. So they're looking for like a bond.
I think it depends also the type of crowd you're around. Like, people you
hang out with.
Do you feel like teens are financially stable to care for a child? Why or why not?
I don't think so. I don't think they're stable on their own, but there's a lot of help out there that they can get if they aren't financially stable. Welfare, all kinds of stuff is out there, so they don't really think about it like they can't provide for themselves, but somebody else can provide for them.
So you get that?
I said no because some teens don't even have jobs, so how can you? They barely can take care of themselves, so how can you take care of their child?
I say no too because like that's one of the consequences that come with having a baby at an early age.
So do you feel like at any point being pregnant has become a trend in our generation? Like something popular to do?
I think it has. Like the media really influenced teen pregnancies because like there's a series and like it's just big. It's like a lot of pregnant people like at young ages. It's infectious.
I think it goes along with like us as teenagers. We think that we're older than what we are. Like I said earlier, so it's like we think we know enough to handle the situation that we can take care of it. But then when it comes down to it, when they're actually experiencing it, I think it's not what they thought it would be. So the teens are used to seeing like the upside of it, like people like a lot of people having teens, they think that they're old enough now because they have that child, so they don't really focus on the bad part of that.
A lot of people encourage it too much, like with the TV shows and the internet and all the help that they can get if they can't provide for themselves. I think people just encourage it and make it seem like it's, I don't want to say okay because I mean it's bringing to life, but people make it seem like it's natural for you to have a child at such a young age when you can't take care of yourself. So people encourage it a little too much.
Okay, so this next question is a double question. How many, by show of hands, how many people know someone who's a teen mom or a teen dad? Okay. And do you know some of the consequences or regrets that they had from having their child?
Yeah, like a couple of my friends, they didn't get a chance to like continue their education. They had to basically put their life on hold to start the life of their child, and that upset them, but at the same time they had a child, so they already know what they got into. I don't know anyone who has regrets, but I know people who have consequences, like they can't go out as much as they want because they have to either watch their child or go to work to provide for their child. But I don't know anybody that really has a regret because they enjoy the presence of the child. The consequences definitely.
I wouldn't say regret either, but I do know a young lady that's a teen mother, and she says that she would have waited because now she can't go to college and get the education that she wants and do what she needs to do. Now it's delayed because of her child.
So it's too many responsibilities. Somebody at a young age. The body isn't done developing, so you having a child early, it can cause some permanent damage to it.
Such as what?
Like, for instance, I know somebody who she had a kid early, and because of that, there's something wrong with her ovaries or whatever. So like when she's going through her cycle, they don't catch properly. So.
Do you guys feel like anything is being done? Is it being talked about? The fact that teenage pregnancy is on the rise, or do you feel like it's just becoming a norm?
Teenage pregnancy is being advertised. It's not being dealt with. It's just more so being promoted. If they really wanted to make it like a serious issue, they wouldn't air shows like Teen Mom or 16 and Pregnant or shows like that. It's influencing young people to be like, oh, okay, if I have a baby, then I get to have a camera crew follow me around, take care of my child, and see what I go through every day. They want the fame, but when the cameras go off, you still have a child and you still have to struggle.
I think it's being talked about, but people just like, they won't care because they want to do whatever they want regardless. So.
I think it's being talked about but not enforced. Like they're letting teenagers know that there's stuff out there to prevent pregnancy, but it's not being pushed on them. It's not being enforced. You're just informing them, just telling them. But telling them is not doing anything.
Do you think that teenagers would listen? Because if it's being forced onto them, will teenagers actually, do you honestly believe that they would listen?
No.
Why?
Teenagers always do the opposite of what they're told, so of course they're not going to listen.
They're the age where they think they know everything. It's like nobody can tell them nothing.
I think if they thought like somebody actually cared, they would listen. Like if somebody was actually listening to their side of the story and still tried to help out and knew both sides of the story, the ins and outs of the situation, I think they would listen more. Maybe not fully listen, but listen more than they do now.
I think they'll listen,
like if they parents try to like encourage them, like they can give them condoms?
Personally, not this topic, but if somebody told me to do something, I probably would do the opposite because I would feel as though you're trying to take control of my life and the personal things that I'm doing. So that's probably one of the things that they be thinking about too.
Like, I know for me personally, I've been in situations where like people felt as though they were better than I at something. So like they completely didn't listen to me, and then when it turned out like the way I told them it would have, they regretted the fact that they did not listen and they did not pay attention. So I think it goes along with like their personal attitudes, like how arrogant we are.
So why do you think young people don't use condoms, especially when they know a consequence could be a teen pregnancy or a STD?
I think young people believe in monogamy.
I think the feeling, like it feels better.
The feeling. And they don't think, and they try to like think the upside, like, oh, they can't happen to me. Like, they try to, even though like they think, oh, it's a 99.9% chance that won't happen, but you could possibly be that 1%, that 0.1% that it does happen to. They don't think about the negatives. They just think about the positives, and they live in the moment. Teenagers live in the moment.
I think most teenage girls think they're invincible when it comes to becoming pregnant. They think, oh, okay, I'm not gonna get pregnant because I did it before and I didn't get pregnant, but you might slip up and get pregnant.
So, I mean, do you think that they think about the risk when they're doing that?
No.
Why?
Because you only
they in the moment.
Yep,
they're in the moment.
So, do you think that anything could be done to prevent teen pregnancies? Like, do you honestly think that anything could be done? Yeah.
I say no. I say that because it's going to take a teen themselves to decide whether they want to have a baby or not. I don't think a parent can do it, or nobody in the world. It got to a point where it just become regular and everybody does it, so it's just normal. That's why I say no.
I agree with him. And when they try to help, it becomes controversial because like schools are one that try to hand out condoms, but then they're like, oh, it's encouraging teenagers to have sex. But the way that they're trying to see it is, okay, they're already having sex, you might as well be protected. But I guess we can't have everything right.
I think a lot of kids are materialistic nowadays, so if the adults take away some of their materials, maybe they reconsider having a baby.
I think less support will prevent it. Because if a child knows that nobody will help them, or there's nothing out there that can help them, or their parent isn't going to approve of, they'll second guess it. Because I know myself, if I know that something is going to disappoint my mom, or my mom won't like a decision that I make, I second guess it. Because my mom is my support, and if she disagrees with something, I'm kind of messed up. Everything is falling apart. So I think if it was less support, teenagers would second guess.
I don't think like if they had less support, it wouldn't prevent it. Teenagers, they don't think straight, so they think like the easier way is just to go out and get some more support, like food stamps or whatever they can get. So less support won't prevent it from your parents.
So, I heard earlier someone mentioned if the parent wasn't going to support them, then it would keep them. So, do you feel like parents should have a bigger role in preventing teen pregnancy, or do you think it doesn't really matter?
I think
I think parents should.
I think they should. It won't be right for them to leave their child in the street and not support it. So, any help they can get. Great.
I think that if you give a child more love and support and care, then they wouldn't go out and have unprotected sex because they know that it's a stable and loving and caring environment at home. So they don't have to get out in the world and do it themselves.
So what do you think, where do you think the gap is in reference to the parent and the child's relationship together? Where is the gap that it's not connecting between the two? What do you think is going on between the parent and the child?
Communication.
I think it's the connection with the parent and child. Some people are not close with their parents. Some people don't feel comfortable talking to their parents about sex. And therefore they go talk to their friends. Being a teenager, you're going to agree with your friend, you're going to tell them what they want to hear, and that's what causes them to have sex and have kids.
I agree with Khalil. I think the communication is key. If you don't have anybody to talk to, you're going to find somebody else who probably feel the same way you do, on the same level as you, same mindset as you, and that's not productive. That's not leading to anything productive.
So do you know any resources in reference to your sexual health that can help you prevent a teen pregnancy from from happening?
I mean, you could talk to like a friend that probably already has a child that's young, and they can tell you like, okay, it is what it is, and this is how it's going to be. If you decide to, you know, be a teen mom, it's not as easy as people make it look, and it's not as much support as it seems to be out there. Because although there is, yes, WIC and food stamps, you still have to apply, and you still have to wait. You're on a waiting list. You just don't, okay, I apply, and I pick it up the next day. So you and your child or child-to-be are still without food and nutrition, and that's dangerous for your health and the babies.
But everyone doesn't have a friend with a child, a young friend with a child, so who else can you take?
Without kids, mentors.
You don't have experience, like how are they supposed to help you?
So how do you think a teenage pregnancy, just bringing it in, will personally affect you? Everyone here in this room, how do you think it would affect you?
Make you mature in ways you never thought you would. Like if you have younger siblings or whatever, you know, you think you'll be able to handle the situation. But if you had like, say, a younger sibling that's an actual baby, like actually having to stay up with the baby, like I babysitted my niece a few weeks back, and like I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning because she wouldn't fall asleep. So it's like all the sacrifices you have to make, you will like basically force yourself to learn that, you know, this needs to be done. There's no procrastination. It'll like really like set your mind on what's important and what you don't need to do, you know, with that responsibility.
It would actually set my goals back because I have a plan, and me having a child right now is just going to take me off track with my goal. So having a baby or having a child is the last thing that's on my mind.
The teen pregnancy would affect me because I wouldn't be able to go to school in the fall, and then I would be in a depressed state because when I planned on having my child, I want to be able to financially provide everything. I don't want my child to be in need for anything. So that would hurt me. So that wouldn't be healthy for me or my child, because I'll go back thinking, well, maybe I should have never like had you, and I would have had like thoughts, like terrible thoughts, probably like kill my baby or something. But that wouldn't be a good look, teen pregnancy.
Do you think abortion is a form of birth control? If so, why or why not?
No. I do not think abortion is birth control. I think condoms or no sex at all is birth control, or actual birth control before you decide to have sex. I think abortion is death. I think it's wrong. I think it's cruel. I think it's just, I mean, if you had a baby, if you're pregnant, I think you should just, I don't think abortion is good. I think you should just live with it, and maybe after the baby is born, maybe adopt or give it to someone who may care more for it than you can. But abortion, I just think is cruel, and it's harmful to your body. And if you get it done multiple times, when you're actually ready to have a child, you won't be able to.
So let's hear from some of the people who haven't spoken yet. Do you think that abortion is a form of birth control? Why or why not?
I think abortion is a form of birth control because if you if you got pregnant while having sex, right, it might affect your life because the 7 or 8 months that you would take to have that pregnancy and give birth, it might set you back. I don't think it's a form of birth control.
I think it's a form of birth control because if you feel like you can't take care of your child, you have the decision to like give it life or just abort the baby.
Abortion is not a form of birth control because birth control is supposed to prevent pregnancy, not, you know, murder the child. So totally opposite.
I don't think it's a form of birth control because before people engage in sex, they know what's the possibilities, like what the outcome could be. And then I always think, well, what would happen if my mom thought of aborting me? Like, I wouldn't be here.
Do you all feel like people take advantage of abortion? Do you feel like people just do it? Do they even understand it?
I think people take advantage of it, and they do understand it. They do it because that's like a cowardly move. You laid down, you did the actions, and now you have to, you know, quote unquote suffer the consequences and, you know, stop your life and raise your child. So they know what's going on, they just don't want to own up to it.
Yeah, you hear like they watch movies or you hear some friends or whatever, they say you can't take care of it or whatever, like the first thing you think of is to get rid of the child, but I don't think they really understand the process of it, like what will happen to you after, what will happen to you during, the risks that can go into it, because sometimes going through abortion is a lot more harmful than it is in actually having a baby. So it's like if they realize what both sides would do, like weigh their options, I think they would be more acceptable of their decision, whichever one they choose to do.
How many of you all know someone who was a teenager and had an abortion? Wow.
Okay, if we were to design a program or a campaign for teen pregnancy, what can we do to make it effective?
Like have commercials and a lot of like broadcasts that make it worldwide known so that a lot of people know like the message you're trying to send.
I think you should get teens involved in it. Because if it starts with one teen and you add friends, they'll tell more friends and they'll go on.
I think you should have people who have had different experiences with the pregnancy, whether it be abortion or actually having to give it away, whatever the case may be. Different people have had different experiences with situations to speak.
I also think there should be teen mom mentors because you won't know the truth unless you hear from somebody who's actually going through it. So that'd be a good idea as well. And teen fathers too.
Give out good condoms.
Anything else that you think would make it effective? What would make you personally listen?
People engaged in whatever you're trying to like put out there.
Showing them the effect of maybe abortion, like showing them what would be the negative effect if you have abortion, or maybe if you have sex and you got pregnant, you want to have abortion. Making them to understand that if they might have sex and get pregnant and decide, oh, I will just take it off and have abortion. Making them to know that sometimes it is very, very dangerous than even getting the pregnancy and delivering with that baby.
And that's all we have for this episode of The Hype. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good looking now, G. You're very precious. Please tell me what's your name. You're a precious gem and got to blame. No, I'm not trying to spit the game, cause it's your soul I'm trying to claim. You probably never heard of this. A love affair without a kiss. All the diamonds in the world could never hold to your value. You're a precious pearl. So look at your style, beautiful smile, beautiful essence, you a beautiful child. I mean a grown woman, you're grown woman, you in the wrong zone, but it's on when he make you his